The torch is being given to you. January 14, 2013. SanJAsKa speaks first. Deeper and more meaningful insights into the mysteries of life and the human experience will continue to lead you all to personal and inner-held revelations about yourselves and the lives of those around you. 2013 signals the beginning of the Age of Understanding, and while 2012 laid the crucial foundation for the beginning of this new age, your current year will be seen as the most productive and enjoyable one to date. You have all been working your ways up and building upon the foundation of knowledge, understanding and love you have begun to garner as you found your personal awakenings, and we ask you all to allow the vibrations permeating your perception to increase in the manner that the plan is calling for. There are many of you who have expected bold or brazen, sudden ascension-related events to get your attention exponentially and let you see that matters on your world truly are unfolding, and we ask you to allow such things to come forth within yourselves without doubt or fear that they are somehow not real, for the energies delivering your ascension cannot act in too bold of ways and making themselves known to you if you are not properly attuned, or could potentially fear witnessing something that is greatly outside of your paradigm and presently inconceivable to the majority of humanity. We must be careful with the miracles given to any earth soul, as while you will attain anything you sow for yourselves to experience, which includes the experience of miracles that would shatter your paradigm, many souls would be potentially too overwhelmed by the many amazing things we have for you to behold, and this has in part to do with the collective energy as it stands at present. You have heard before and know of the density of the collective energy as expressed on your world in this moment, and it has been expressed as well that a few influential aspects of the old energies are still being expressed and fed, and that they will easily diminish as the vibrations continue to lighten, now and in the time ahead. This is one reason we ask you not to be in a state of potential fear or apprehension for your futures, for they are and have always been secured. We say this in this manner because you have secured your futures for yourselves, dear souls, and you have found the awakenings that are now beckoning you forth toward realms past your current conscious understanding and perspective. You have wished to perceive of the higher realms in a greater depth, and you are now able to, dear souls. You have found the higher realms within yourselves, and it simply takes your adjustment and continual attunement to these realms for you to be able to feel them in the fullest purity they are now offering you. Many of you are finding yourselves with increased and heightened perceptions at this time, and we recommend meditation to help you attune to the energies of your fifth dimensional reality. Your new earth is continuing to be built upon, and to those of you who have internally experienced visions of your new earth that seem to have been fleeting, we tell you with happiness that the work being performed upon it has increased in scope by and large, and much more light is being anchored onto your third dimensional reality in preparation for the further anchoring of the realms and mechanisms of the fifth dimension. Such mechanisms must first be anchored onto the collective in the necessary ways, and this is where the placeholders and gatekeepers come in, for you are holding the energetic space for the light to come forth and for the pre-fifth dimensional vibrations to anchor onto such space and make way for the fifth dimensional earth. Gaia is working especially hard to hold this space and encourage and assist all of you who have found a very potent awakening and continue to build upon such an awakening with your further realization of the ascended and ascending realms all around you that have always laid just beyond the fore of your perception, waiting to be called upon and brought forth within you again. We cannot express enough the positive nature of all that is occurring now and all that is to be occurring, because you have anchored so very much change that many of you do not yet see or feel within yourselves, but trust, dear hearts. It is absolutely there, and it is waiting to be accessed. You all have an infinite potential now to find and feel realms greater than your conscious perception has allowed you to feel and access, and we are here to help the adjustment and integration process go as easily and graceful as possible for you, dear souls, as some of you are experiencing and surfacing issues from your past that continue to attempt to convince you that negativity is the only prevalent energy around you, when in fact, negativity is fading more than ever and is dissolving away from influencing the collective consciousness. You do not yet see this reflected in your collective consciousness, but it is certainly happening, and with the crucial actions of every light worker, gatekeeper and placeholder in anchoring the energies and vibrations that will see the influence of third dimensionality of any kind diminished quite easily. We can begin to help introduce and put forth the concepts of peace, harmony, oneness and prosperity for all through our earthly hosts, who will begin to gain influence in your media and some of whom already possess influence in your media. We will help introduce the ideas of your new age to a public and collective who will increasingly become open to them. We do not necessarily speak of our channelers when we use the term earthly hosts, though our channelers too are creating their reality and can create any experience or happening they wish for themselves. We speak of those on your earth who are a part of our ground crew and overall, a part of the legions of the light helping your world to ascend. Many of these souls have entered into contracts of forgetfulness that are much stronger than those of the awakening light worker public because of the specifics of their roles, as they are and will be working to gain influence in your mainstream media and with the collective consciousness in general, so that they can introduce everything we have discussed in a way that is cleanly and neatly comprehensible and can be better understood and accepted by the earth public. While much of your world is still rooted in darkness, destruction and separation at present, the influence of every soul who has wished for an anchored peace will see the vibrations lightening even further than they already have been, and everybody on the earth will begin to find a generally lightened perspective and an easier experience of their lives. Those areas of your earth still deeply rooted in war, darkness and disrespect for the sovereignty and freedom of others will have to experience the boldest of governmental changes to be able to find the lightening vibrations of peace and harmony, but we can say with certainty that the overwhelming majority of citizens in such areas do not want the hatred and violence they experience currently and would rather witness a world bred out of love and harmony toward others. Some souls are incarnated into the densest of places on your world for the purposes of finding a greater realization of and need for the light energies to be anchored unto themselves and unto the collective. Namely, the collective of the areas that continue to experience violence. We will, of course, be with you to help lighten the karmic load manifested and fed for centuries on your world, but dearest souls, we do not want this truth to be misinterpreted into thinking that you should wait to do the work yourselves or you should remain complacent until we arrive, because our arrival and your ascension simply do not work like this. As plenty have expressed, you must attract us to yourselves and to your planet via the vibrations you put out and manifest every single day, because we are of a higher dimensional consciousness that simply cannot last in the lower dimensions, lest we wish to incarnate in such dimensions and experience your earth ourselves. There are some areas of your world that are particularly polluted, such as landfills or refineries, that we were previously unable to come near because of the damage they were doing in realms far beyond the physical. Yes, indeed. The garbage dumps, oil refineries and a plethora of other polluting things had been doing damage in so many different realms, and because of this we were previously unable to be around such things, but now, with the actions of the light worker public in anchoring light and healing energies that have served to cleanse the majority of such realms that the pollution on your world was doing damage to, we are able to come closer to such places and even anchor our ships invisibly in your skies to help mitigate the continual pollution being bred by such things, too. Pollution that will not affect you or your earth in the quite destructive ways it otherwise could. There is indeed much we are doing to help you all cleanse your world, and we have assisted you in the astral realms in clearing the pollution that has been fed on your earth and manifested in such realms as a result, but again, we are not here to do the work for you, and we are only here to guide and assist you on a journey that is created entirely by you. Remaining complacent under the guise of waiting for our arrival will unfortunately see you creating your realities in a manner that pushes our arrival further from yourselves. In the same vein, taking a clear interest in repairing your world and righting the wrongs that continue to be perpetrated will draw us much closer to you, as you will be radiating the vibrations making up the experience of the higher dimensions. Again, we are of a higher dimensional consciousness, and if you can attract your vibrations as a collective toward the realms of the fifth dimension that are being worked upon exponentially to be anchored unto your world at present, you will see our arrival in a much more timely and allowed manner. Of course, possibilities continue to be looked toward that will see us able to visit your world in person. We have spoken previously on the possibility of disclosure being brought forth via governments announcing a formal contact, and we wish to express that the plan brought forth in the previous communication is only one possibility that we are looking upon. We are still looking toward the assistance of your mainstream media and those who have run it without the majority of the public realizing they did, and while many cabal heads are experiencing pure forms of containment at this time, we have still found much resistance in the lower quarters from souls who were fulfilling demands set out by their perceived masters. There is still some resistance to disclosure in some quarters of your media, but make no mistake, everybody in a position of knowing what is transpiring at this time see both the importance and closeness of disclosure, as it simply cannot continue to be stalled. While we are helping your earth to be cleansed of pollution, we can only do so much, and your earth is indeed still experiencing negativity and pollution manifested on her surface, at a rate that would be destructive if not dealt with. The disclosure of our existence will help push many issues of importance to the forefront of the collective's conscious perception, and every effort you make at present will serve to push disclosure forward, as well as the issues that you know are so very important to the ascension of your earth and to bringing her back into the vibrations of harmony and collective prosperity rather than lack, need, violence, and a violation of the ordained free will rights of every soul on your world. Yes, you have so much good to look forward to, and we know you can feel this, which is why we will continue to ask you to keep the faith and maintain a healthy and balanced center. If we do not receive the necessary cooperation from your governments and the descendants of the owners of your mainstream media, then we will indeed push ahead with disclosing ourselves, and we would very easily be able to utilize your cable and satellite networks to deliver a communication to humanity in a similar format as our channeled communications. This is because we would be picking up on the frequencies being broadcast through your televisions, and, in a similar manner that we can pick up on the frequencies of our respective scribes and channelers, we would be able to impart a communication and direct message through such frequencies for all on your world to see and absorb. This is indeed very easy to do. We simply have not yet, because of the majority of the collective's free will, wish not to know of us or believe in our existence. As you have heard, we are usually made out to be scary creatures who wish to plunder or destroy in any ways possible, and you will notice the continual array of propaganda that has been prevalent in various movies and television shows throughout decades of your history. This propaganda has been established and fed in this manner because we have so very much assistance and healing to offer you, and we have in fact offered your cabals and the governments they own some of our healing technologies for all of humanity to benefit from. Rather than accepting our technologies and the world peace we offered that was attached to them, the cabals simply took to denying our offers to have peace established on your world, and immediately employed their scientists to duplicate the technology they were shown and to build upon templates that were already provided from the crashed ship of the Zeta race in Roswell, New Mexico. Your cabals are quite familiar with the advanced technology that has been back-engineered from fallen ships, but they still have no inkling of knowledge of the higher dimensional technology we possess and will be offering to your world, which we didn't show them. We knew of the potential of their denying our offer for peace, and this is why we did not show the most awe-inspiring technologies we possess, because we will be offering them to you in the time ahead and would not want to see them duplicated by your cabals for service to self-based reasons. We wish not for you to keep your vibrations continually downtrodden because of what's manifested on your world every day, but at the same time, we do not want your attention turned away from all that is happening on your world which needs restored, because in doing so, you are taking your attention away from an aspect of creation. An aspect of yourselves and of our Mother Father Creator. Every realm needs your attention this time, be it inner or outer, because your focus is needed so that your light can shine on every aspect of every realm of creation. In this case, the creation of Gaia. You have so much light and truth that you can all spread, as you are all conduits and instruments for the divine to come forth, which is why we ask you to be open to the concept of channeling in your everyday lives. By this we do not mean channeling us or our energies, or even channeling a communication in general. We speak of the channeling you are all performing at present without realizing it. As has been said by others, You are all continually channeling, and when you make the effort to, you can channel pure energy through your hearts and minds that is just so wonderful and higher dimensional in nature, that it will serve to help further shift your perspective and introduce you further to the miracles that the brimming higher realms have to offer you and wish for you to find and feel at this time. You can feel these things in yourselves, and many of you are beginning to, and as you do so, you channel these very energies onto the collective consciousness of the earth, and you anchor the higher dimensions further onto the surface and core of Gaia, who can use as much higher dimensional energy as possible at this point. This is because Gaia is already working so very hard, and she is performing so very many different tasks to anchor the fifth dimensional realm she is perceiving from, and has been for some time, to the perception and understanding of the collective of Earth. As you find a further refinement taking place in yourselves, so will you find this reflected by the collective, and so will you find truth beginning to be accepted more than it has been. Many souls on your world are feeling a release of the old energies as they latch onto them for comfort, and there will indeed still be many souls on your earth who feel comfortable in the old energies and will fight against the current of change that is and will be brought forth. Eventually, everybody will see the light, and they will find it in their own ways which will be unique to them. The Pleiadian High Council begins speaking. Blessing, dear souls, we are the Pleiadian High Council, and we wish to give acknowledgement for your many efforts up until this point. We have been with you all, helping to uplift you and give you updates about the continually evolving state of affairs on your world. The higher realms are beckoning forth for each one of you at this time, and as you assimilate continually pure energies unto yourselves and use such energies to help further initiate yourselves into your pure states of consciousness, you will begin to find a healthy interaction with your inner realms and with the souls accompanying them, and you will find so very many of us just waiting to help uplift and inform as you grow increasingly into your God selves. For some of you, reaching the higher dimensions entails undergoing difficulties and challenges, and those of you who have been tested, are and will be finding the rewards for your lower dimensional travels. There is much negativity still manifested on your world at present, and every last bit of it can be transmuted and forgotten about. It is simply that humanity still feeds this density on a moment-to-moment basis, and this is what we and many of you as well wish to see come to an end. You have heard so very much about the ascension cycle and about the events that will surround your year 2013, but what you have not been told enough is that the torch is now being given to you, dear souls, as you find the opportunities to begin addressing the condition your world is in. You will find yourselves able to come together much easier and spread the word about every unjust act still taking place on your world. And we ask you to look toward movements such as Occupy Wall Street, who are already beginning to bring forth the truth and light that your world needs to find the purer states of consciousness you're being initiated into. Awareness can precede enlightenment in some instances, and some souls find knowledge before they find the plentiful higher dimensional energies in themselves. Some of you have realized what the cabals have done to you and your world before being introduced to the concepts of ascension, spirituality and oneness, while some of you have been open to the realms of spirit for some time whilst not initially realizing the state of affairs on your world. We say that your earth and the experiences playing out on your earth in every moment are not as normal or dull as you think, and rather, the earth has been the playing field for the commingling of the two strongest aspects of duality, the negative and the positive. The forces of the light have worked so very hard to steer the collective in detaching from the energies of negativity and separation, and the souls accompanying the other end of the perceived dualistic pole have worked very hard as well to maintain their influence upon your collective. A lot of souls on your world are still feeding in stated separation at present, and as your world begins to see the importance of coming together and repairing dearest Gaia's body, you will all find the unity you have looked toward and needed for your collective to evolve. While it may or may not be difficult for some souls to grasp at present, we are indeed still with you, and there is much that will be happening concerning our presence and the acknowledgement of our presence on your world. We ask you as well to continue to hold the faith and know that what you've been working toward is real, and there is of course plentiful evidence to suggest our contacts with humanity. you can bring the acknowledgement of our presence to yourselves, and we are indeed looking toward you too, whilst still adhering to our general plan of either making ourselves known or having your governments do so. Our presence simply needs to be known and felt by all on your world, so that the vast unawareness that continues to be garnered surrounding us and our presence can no longer give way to purposeful disinformation and disseminated fear about us or our intentions for your world. Density has been fed on your world for quite some time, and you all now have the opportunity to shy away from the very influence of such density and excel gloriously on your path to becoming uplifted and infinite beings. And when traversing the fifth dimension, you will see that there is absolutely no negativity of any kind manifested here. This is because all are radiating out the natural energies of harmony and oneness, and the pervading vibrations are always reflecting this happiness, as it can simply be no other way. We have no desire to harm or plunder you in any way, nor do we wish to string you along with updates about an ascension that some perceive not to be happening. Rather, we simply wish to assist you as one facet of the ascended collective helping your planet to ascend, and we wish to share our technologies with you as well, because they can and will be greatly beneficial to the repairing of your world. We have spoken previously of our technology and the assistance it is to give, and as is so with our replicators, every facet of the technology we give you will help you learn to perform the miracles such technology performs, yourselves. We will not keep you strung up on our technology nor our presence on your world when we arrive, and rather, we will share devices and craft with you that will act as stepping stones for you being able to do what such devices do. Your bodies and spirits are infinite, and your heart and mind can truly take you anywhere and perform anything, if utilized properly and with the necessary balance. Your spirit is infinite, and you truly do have the power to travel anywhere that you wish to. It's simply that you've been limited with human bodies, and your world has been controlled by lower influences who have maintained their power and grip upon your world because of the density still fed in any given moment. You've been conditioned to think that you are little more than human beings, and that physicality is the only true reality you can experience, and as so many of you are discovering, this is simply not so. There are an infinite amount of realms you can all experience and benefit vastly from experiencing, and we will all be with you during your inner travels to help you see and realize this more fully once again. We can indeed offer our assistance if you dear souls are open to it, and the dream flights we have helped many souls initiate as their bodies lay sleeping and then helped them to consciously remember upon waking up, can be seen as a testament to this fact. We are truly open to meeting with you in any ways that we can, and at present, the collective dense energy is still too strong for us to properly make our way to your world, but there are some in our ranks, such as you dear incarnate light workers and starseeds, who have been able to handle the density and who continue to anchor the light onto your world that is needed for our presence to be able to be made known. There are even a select few of us who have not incarnated into the earth, and who were rather experiencing the earth from our ships, and at times, being on the ground and further helping to anchor energy that is of an incredible purity. Even more so than the energy being given out by the majority of the Lightworker Collective. We have only a select few souls who are able to step off of our ships and exist on your ground without the vibrations being too dense, and while you will not yet see these souls, they are indeed moving around with your Earth public unnoticed, as they perform a myriad of different tasks that will make way for the continual purity of light and vibrations being manifested on your world and used to create your reality. The reality around many of you is beginning to evolve at this time, and you are evolving with it, which is why your perspective is important to note in every moment. We will continue to restate your power as spiritual beings undergoing a transforming human experience, and as we make our final impressions for this communication, we ask you to radiate out the energies and concepts of peace and truth. There is so very much your world needs to be exposed to, and while some would remain comfortable within their instated densities forever, we say that the time has come for change to manifest on your world, and the time has come as well for you all to begin acting upon this change and building upon the foundations, both energetic and physical, that have already been valiantly built upon by each and every one of you and by a plethora of other souls as well. Your ascension is so near to being realized, dear souls, And we know you can feel this as you face a world that continues to test you. You are loved and supported unconditionally, and we thank you as we always have. Thank you to the Pleiadian High Council, and to SanJAsKa. Channeled through Wesanak. Wesanak.com. AquariusParadigm.com